was going to wait until I couldn't hear a chicken clucking in the background, but apparently that's just not going to happen today. So I'm going to start with the story today about how indoor cycling brought me to willpower and grace, which brought me to cardio yoga. And it all started back in 2003 when I was teaching some classes at Eastern Michigan University, and my knees were just killing me. I mean, they were getting really, really bad. And the Group X manager then asked me if I wanted to join a 40 and over indoor cycling class on Saturday mornings. And I said, yeah, absolutely, I'm game for anything. And I went to my first cycling class. I nearly had a heart attack because it was way more challenging than I thought it was going to be. But I was absolutely bit by it. I loved it, and I could not wait to go back to my next and next and next and next. And finally, like some months later, I was just so crazy about it that I asked the Group X instructor, "Are you ever going to be doing a Schwinn training here?" And she said, "Well, as a matter of fact, yes, I am. We have a woman coming in from New York, and it's in 5 weeks from now or whatever." And so off I went. And it was great. I was going through the training. This teeny tiny little woman from New York came in, and she was really great. The class was really enjoyable, and everybody split off for lunch to go, buy some fast food or whatever. And I stuck around because, of course, it was just like me to bring my own lunch, and of course I was already ready for it. So I ended up staying in the room and checking some emails and stuff, and Stacy stayed, and somebody picked her up lunch, and we got to talking, and she was telling me about this class that she created in New York, where it's a Group X cardio class that was sort of a combination of Pilates and yoga and dance and martial arts. And I was like, what? Tell me more. I love this. I love this. This sounds so amazing. And it sounded really cool. And so we just had that little chit chat about it. Went through the the rest of the training. We had, lunch and so forth. And just the strangest serendipitous meeting later. I was teaching cycling at my studio. It had been about, a year and a half. And a woman came in who was a new member. And she told me, I'm going through some cycling training, and I'd love to teach here too if you're ever interested, and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, sure. But before she started teaching there, she told me we sat down and had a chat about she was an indoor cycling coach, but she was originally from Philly, and she was a music teacher, and ta-ta-ta. So I was like, yeah, so once you get through with the training, holler at me. You're in town, you seem amazing, got great energy and charisma, and I love you. She goes off to Philly for the holidays and comes back because she would always go into New York and visit her friend Christine, who was a bicycle shop owner, who was also a cycling instructor, and she was teaching this new Barefoot class, and she went to it, and she was head blown, just, oh my God, it was so great, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, are you kidding me? It was a creator named Stacy, and she said, yeah, I think something like that. And I had the, by that time, I had the CD, or DVD, I'm sorry, DVD, because I'd asked for it for Christmas. And I'm like, does this woman, is she in this? So she was actually, Christine was actually the woman in the video with Stacy. So I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's good. I knew that class was going to be fantastic. And I said I've watched it a couple times. Christmas Day, I was watching the Willpower DVD with Sam on the couch, eating ice cream, going like, well, this is really straightforward. I think I could learn how to do this. And he was like, yeah, it looks kind of hard. We're eating ice cream watching the DVD. But she was like, oh, yeah, it's really terrific. I mean, I think you really love it, blah, blah, blah. Happenstance again in January. We're going to be doing the training in Chicago. And I looked at Debbie and said, hey, what do you say? Should we go to Chicago? Should we do this training? And she says, you know, I would really love to. We'd be the only people in Michigan teaching it. And it turned out we were for a while. So, oh my gosh. We go to Chicago. We're in the place where the training's. It's the Equinox, and I think below Bloomingdale's in Chicago. It was lovely. It was really beautiful, and we were getting ready and, you know, milling about with all the other instructors that were getting ready to take the training. And inbound Stacy off the bike from teaching a cycling class to come in and then do the certification training for Willpower and Grace. It was amazing. We talked about foot fitness. We talked about the choreography. We went over the choreography. She taught a master class. It was a sweaty, just robust, fun, you know, heart-pounding, but just, oh, man, it just really touched my heart. And I'm like, God, I can't wait to teach this class. So we go through the training. It's 8.5, maybe 9 hours. And the next morning, when Debbie and I were getting ready to come back on the train, she was with her partner and I was by myself, and we were at the train station, and I was like, barely able to walk. I felt like I'd been on a bucking bronco the whole day the day before, and I was so sore. And she was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever been this sore from a group X class in my entire life. So we got on the train, and oh, thank God I was seated. You know, it was comfortable, and it's probably going to be, you know, 2.5, 3 hours. But I'm drinking my water, just trying to stay hydrated, reading the manual because I'm super stoked about the class, thinking about music that I'm going to put together for it. And I realized, oh my God, I have to pee so bad. But if I stand up and walk to the bathroom and then sit down and then stand up again and then come back to my seat and sit down again, can I even do it? Like, I was that freaking sore that I was like talking to myself about how in God's name I was going to be able to just walk over and go to the bathroom and come back. But I did. I survived it. And that was about 15 years ago. And the first class that Debbie and I taught, we decided that we were going to do, you know, level 1 and level 2. So we would co-teach it. Like, we'd take turns, like you be, you know, levels 2 and 3, and you be level 1 today or whatever, and we would teach it. And honest to God, the first time we taught Willpower and Grace, we actually outnumbered our class participants. We had one woman show up to the class. I still remember her coming to that class. Her name was Nate, and she was lovely. And I think she moved off to Philly. I can't remember. But anyway, she came to that class, and she was so stoked and talked about it to other people, other members, after we started teaching it, that pretty soon that class was just full all the time. And everybody fell in love with it. But we would frequently say, oh, you never forget your first Willpower and Grace class, because the way we were so sore. Which brings me to another story that, you know, we'd started teaching it and it was getting really popular, and I had just met this young woman who, again, serendipitous. She was on a bike one time. She's brand new. We were talking about, you know, like where she was from, and oh, you know, some of her family is from UP, and I was like, oh, yeah, really? I lived in the UP. I went to high school there, and that's where I graduated from high school, and my family's all from there, and so forth. And she was like, oh, my dad was the state representative there, and I said, that's funny, because my uncle was for like 45 years. And she was like, oh my gosh, my dad took your uncle. So, I mean, that was funny. So Heather is in my class, and it's a Saturday morning, and the next class is willpower. And so she gets off her bike, and she's wiping off her bike, and there's a few people that go from cycling to willpower, and then the other people that were just coming from for the willpower class were walking in. And as she's walking into the Group X room to go to the willpower class, she says out loud, I think I'm going to try this. I mean, as long as there's not a lot of squats, I should be fine. And everybody that watched her walk in there that had been to the class before said not a word. And Heather never forgot her first willpower and grace class either. So I hope you try cardio yoga with me, because you won't forget it. You absolutely won't forget it. All right, till next time. Peace out.